Well, folks, here we are. Pre-trick or treat night, and the Houston Texans gave us a. No, they gave us a trick. Was no treat. There was. This was not pretty today, folks. And we're gonna get to it. I'm gonna knock. Let me knock Thriller music off. Let me knock the Thriller music off. All right, folks. I'm gonna be. We've. I try to be honest and sincere in my comments and everything. We try to make this fun, but sometimes you can dress this pig up all kind of ways. You can put the sweetest perfume on it. You put the prettiest dress on it. This wasn't even a pig today, folks. This hog wasn't even worth slaughtering, but he got slaughtered today. And we gonna have to sort of pick around the carcass to figure out what happened today. The former team known as the Houston Oilers that transported themselves to the Tennessee Titans that now came dressed up as the Tennessee Titans today kicked the Houston Texans butt today, literally. I mean, they laid their foot so deep off in their rear end. Uh, you're gonna need more than a proctologist to bring their toes out. 17-10, but the score is deceiving. The Texans only scored that touchdown with 17 seconds left in the game. And after that, all and in between there, the Texans got about 3 sacks. They had a couple of takeaways, and they done not squat with it. And like I mentioned in my tweet Saturday, once I found out that Ryan Tannehill wasn't going to play, and Malik Willis was going to be the starting quarterback, which I thought the Texans should have been able to take advantage of. Well, there was an advantage taken of, but it was the Texans that got abused today. And so, this was nowhere close to being anywhere of a contest. You can say what you want about David Culley and all, but you know what? This is one time that the Texans post Culley, they were not competitive. This was not a competitive contest. Before we get to the Gilmer Mirror star columnist, sports report, and everything else, as he's driving up the highway, byway 6959, gonna hear from my sponsor. Then we're gonna get back and trying to figure out why this pig, even with Chanel on and with a Monty dress on, still is a pig.
Hello, I'm Ken Ross with the Ken Ross Insurance Agency. There are certain things that are important in our lives: our health, our safety, and our loved ones. With over 40 years of experience, I've seen just how important insurance can be. I value the importance of being a part of my community and being there when they need me. Insurance is important everywhere, but being here in South Texas, it is absolutely essential. From flood, home, auto, and life insurance, let the Ken Ross Agency be your agency of choice.
That's right, folks. The Ken Ross Agency, 281-235-5952. I don't know if he had a policy that you can sell the folks to have to watch a pathetic NFL football game. I don't even know what that. What does that fall on, Elvin? Well, this is Elvin on the road again, and I promise you, we ought to get him a responsive on the road again, because he's heading back. He's heading back to up to East Texas to Gilmer. After we went not quite shoulder to shoulder last week in Las Vegas, but the Texans have continued one trend. They are making good running backs look great, and great running backs look phenomenal. And Derrick Henry today, well, I stated it on my tweet yesterday. They're gonna get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry, and God, it was like taking castor all today. You may not like it, but you know what? They were forced to take it today. Elwin, your comments as before we get down to the nitty gritty of this carcass they call the Houston Texans.
Well, AD, I'm just like you. Of course, we were both at the Raiders-Texans game at Allegiant Stadium last Sunday in Las Vegas. And I think you and I both left there, and we talked about it on the corner last Sunday. We felt like this team was making progress. They had the capability to move the ball offensively. They were in the game for 3 quarters before they kind of fell apart the fourth quarter, the same able to finish. I think we're all expecting more, even, the media and fans that just watched the game on TV last week. We're all expecting much more from this team today. Quite frankly, not only did this team not finish, this team didn't even start today. I mean, it was literally, and I, just like you, and I started covering the Dallas Cowboys way back in 1977, and I can honestly say this was the absolute worst NFL game I have ever covered in my life. And it's extremely disappointing based on what they did last week,
Yeah, I mean, and be careful what you said. This is the worst because they got the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles will be coming in here. Channel View's own, the pride of Channel View will be coming in here. So I mean, considering that they coming in 7-0, the Texans 1-5-1. Tell you what, last week I heard a few comments. Folks thought I was a little snide in my comment, a little snarly in my question and Lovey after that game. But you know what? I laid back today because after and I'm gonna side out. I gave the floor to you. So here's Lovey. Here's you and Lovey the day after the game.
Well, I asked him his thoughts about facing the Eagles and the fact that it gave them an opportunity. Actually, I asked Davis Mills this question. The fact that it gave them an opportunity to come back in a national TV audience and redeem themselves. And he likes that question a lot. And, is there a high probability that they can compete with the Eagles and them being undefeated? No. But wouldn't it be something if they could somehow find it deep within their chest to get it together? Philly is going to come in here going, oh, man, we can rest half of our players and win this game. But wouldn't it be huge if somehow or another we could get another parting of the Red Sea by God and this Texans team managed to defeat Philadelphia? If that were to happen, it would put some excitement back. Honestly, I see Lovey. You can tell he is very uptight. I think he knows what we all know unfairly because they haven't allowed him to bring new players in that he wanted. But I think he knows deep down inside Cal McNair is not going to give him a year two, I'm afraid. And that's just not fair, but that's the way it is.
Well, anyway, let's have a listen to this.
I say it's tough duty when you get dominated up front. It's tough duty for that. So Davis, I know we want to pick Davis out, but it's everything. We didn't run the football the way we've been running it, so that was a part of it too. We did not, Houston Texans, our football team, under my leadership, did not play well today in all areas. That's the good thing about playing a Thursday game, as I see it. Back to that Thursday question. When you play like that, you ain't supposed to get back out there. I know you're better than that.
Take these last two.
Yeah, no kidding, y'all. No, I'm probably sure they wish they could go tomorrow, but the NFL in this infinite wisdom as far as player safeties, they don't believe in scheduling games that close. It's only 4 days difference. Coast the Eagles will have one less game day for preparation because they got to travel. The best thing that the Texans got going for them is the fact that they can be at home in their bed. But man, this was nowhere close. Derrick Henry today, and we know Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. He put his cape on, and his longest run was 41 yards. At one point, every time he touched the ball, Derrick Henry was averaging about 8.8 yards a carry. I mean, it wasn't like first down. It was like he would at one point he'll get a carry, and it would be like 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1. 2nd and 3. That was basically what it was with Derrick Henry today. And heck, talking about tackling? Are you kidding me? I mean, let's face it. You had to get your mind made up today. I think Jalen Petrie probably came the closest of showing somebody had a made up mind. Jalen Petrie only weighs about 205. Derrick Henry goes all of 240, and that's all mad muscles and everything. And Jalen Petrie went in there, and for the few times he was stopped behind the line of scrimmage, because Jalen had came off a corner move. I mean, came off the corner there after they moved the tight end over on another formation and just showed some tenacity. But all in all, this was not good today. This was a pile. This was a pile of crap. I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead. It's Sunday. I'm gonna be genteel as I can, but today's display of the Houston Texans today was a pile of crap. And that's in all caps. Elwood.
Yeah, and that's AD. That's putting it nicely. I mean, it was just unbelievable how horrific they played on both sides of the ball. And I understand Lovie Smith for wanting to take up for his quarterback. That's who his quarterback is. He wasn't allowed to bring in a new quarterback through the draft or to trade for a quarterback. But everybody knows, and Lovey knows it too, but he just can't say it, because if he says it, then that sets up the whole team to totally implode. But Davis Mills is just not a starting quarterback. He looked better last week. He had settled down, but as I mentioned to you about mid-second quarter, he was back to that dancing every time. He can't set his feet before he throws a pass. And you cannot be accurate if you're dancing around when you're throwing a pass. And I know you left and went into the locker room before Davis came into the team room for his media session. But he was quiet as a mouse. It was just nonchalant. And I'm thinking, if I've just had my hand handed to me on a platter, like they had it out there on that field today, I would come in there fired up and I'd say, folks, we fix to turn this thing around. We're going to get it going. But he was just the same monotone guy he's always been. I'm sorry, folks, but he's just not a leader, and he never will learn how to be one. That's the cold, hard facts.
Well, you know what? Some guy. I mean, that's not his personality. I think I know. That's Davis Mills. We expecting an A personality, and he's not an A personality. I don't think he's that get in your face type personality. And and that's not a bad reflection. I mean, that'll be good. His personality would probably be good on a team that had stars around him, and all they were looking for him is just, hey, keep the car in the middle of the road, steady the ship. But today you mentioned about his feet getting set, and we did discuss that. But let me explain something to you folks. The Tennessee Titans today was the reason that he couldn't get his feet set today. I'm surprised David Mills is still standing, because he took some licks. He took some shots today, and a couple of times out there, I thought the young man's sternum was going to get replaced. I mean, and this wasn't no such thing as roughing the quarterback, or this wasn't nowhere close to say roughing the passer. I mean, the Titans front four, and I mean they done it with their front line. They've done it with their front four. They clearly kicked the Texans offensive line behind, from the right tackle to the left tackle. They did not spare anybody in between. Both of the guards, the center, every last one that started, and even the ones that came in replacement. Everybody got their damn heads handed to them today on that Texans offensive line, and the Titans were just the Titans basically just kept coming to the line of scrimmage, going, ding dong, trick or treat. Nope, you the trick and I'm the treat. And guess what? We gonna keep having it. But before we get back to it, let's get another word from our sponsor. I'm gonna call them and see if they have bad team insurance. I don't know what they call it. Some places they call it flood insurance, but this thing was coming from the bottom and the top. So I don't know what they call that today.
Hello, I'm Ken Ross with the Ken Ross Insurance Agency. There are certain things that are important in our lives: our health, our safety, and our loved ones. With over 40 years of experience, I've seen just how important insurance can be. I value the importance of being a part of my community and being there when they need me. Insurance is important everywhere, but being here in South Texas, it is absolutely essential. From flood, home, auto, and life insurance, let the Ken Ross Agency be your agency of choice.
Some insurance needs. You name it. Ken Ross has it. He's got, like he stated, he's got over 40 years of experience, and I'm pretty sure that he can find a policy for to have to be able to watch bad teams. But who knows? Elvin, here's the thing about it, and I know the NFL is from week to week, but after we sit up there and watch them, and I know this was a conference game today, and you and I mentioned it, that the fact that Texas would have won this game today, the Texans could have been tied for first place in their conference with 5 losses. Think about that, folks. This is the pathetic nature of the AFC South, or it's just the NFL, and this so happens to be the pathetic nature of the NFL football as far as the AFC South is concerned. However you want to dress it up, I really don't know. I say, but what they need to do, front runner just sent us a comment. They need to go ahead and put Allen in at this point. Front runner. You know what? I think the young man family likes him a lot better than that, because that would have been, if they'd have put Kyle Allen in there, I think Kyle Allen would have got broken in two. I mean, that was nothing. This was just a total domination, and Lovey can say it, that this was a total domination today. And when a team gets beat like this, and we see it on junior high level, we see it on high school level, we even see it on college levels, But when you got a professional team, and again, I'm stating the point. I know some folks out there saying, well, the score is only 17-10. No, the score was 17-3, and 17 seconds before the end of the game, the Texans managed to get down the field and score. And Davis Mills threw a Hail Mary to Brandon Cook, and he got it down there. And realistically, we didn't even think they were going to manage to score before the end of the game. Because the officials had to put the game. We looked up there, the score clock had went down to 0. And before we know it, the referee was saying, put 20 seconds back on the clock, and then they ran another play, something real quick, and then all of a sudden it's down to 17 seconds and they score. But one more feed from Lovey, and then Elwin, you and I'll get back and finish chopping this up and let you get on down the road.
All right.
Defensively, we haven't been able to really stop the run all year, and today that definitely showed up. But on the other side of the football too, we say we want to run the football. It's hard to get anything going when you can't run it. Take your question.
Yeah, well, that was Lovey's initial statement, and that was probably one of his shortest. That normally he'll give us about 45 to a 90-second opening statement. That was his short, and I think he sort of caught everybody, because I was sitting there waiting on him before I knew it. He just came up, and that was probably his shortest opening statement, because at this point, being a head coach of a professional football team, when you just had your head waylaid and you just had your behind kicked in front of your own crowd like that, It's really nothing else. I mean, let's be truthful, and one don't need to see him trying to just dress it up and say something that wasn't true. But it's a bad feat out there. Um, Comments from you, Elvin, as before we look forward to Thursday night, because I'm gonna be candid with you. I'm not looking forward to seeing this Thursday night. You know, this thing.
Yeah,
Now we both could be totally surprised, but I'm a realist, and hopefully what professional attitude that those players that wear that still, the steel blue and wear that helmet on the helmet, whatever they have, and it's supposed to be Battle Red Day Thursday, and this is Prime and all the rest of it. So everybody's coming in. So this is a special night. I'm pretty sure they probably sitting up there, probably got a bunch of extra stories they're gonna run just in case this thing get out of hand, Elwin.
yeah, I think you're probably right. But, that's another thing I mentioned to Davis Mills when I asked him his question. I said, does this give you a chance, knowing that neither team really, like Lovey said, you can't have a practice. All you can really have is a walkthrough before the game and look at film. And I asked Davis if he felt like this would give the team a chance on national television when everybody's watching. You're the only game in town after having literally what may have been the worst football game in the history of the Houston Texans. Even though they've been beat by a whole lot worse scores, the overall performance may have been the worst. And being able to have that opportunity to get some redemption. And he said, yeah, absolutely. I'm like you, AD. I am a realist. But you know me. I'm also a riverboat gambler like Riverboat Ron up in Washington. I don't know why. My old boss at Olin Mills, God rest his soul, who died about 3 years ago, used to tell us managers, don't go with your gut or you'll get a stomach ache. But I have this gut feeling with Philadelphia traveling, with them knowing they're coming in against a one-win team. Philly is not used to winning all the time like they're doing now. I think they could come in here a little flat, and despite the fact I'm a realist, I'll make a fool of myself right now and predict a Texans huge upset victory Thursday night.
Heather, you get the steering wheel. Don't let him drive.
Cover my face.
She said she just covered her face and shook her head.
Well, you know what? Hey, you know what? Crazier things have happened.
Yes, they have.
I mean, this is the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, some teams got shut out today that we sort of looked at last week with world beaters. I mean, I think the Raiders got shut out today. If I'm
24-0.
Yeah, the Raiders got shut out today, and I'm going like, again, that's another one. Josh Jacob, he got 100. He got a $150 on the Texans. So, I mean, crazier things have happened, my good people. But at this point, we saw a diminished return today. We saw a real diminished return today, and I'm trying to keep it, and I'm not gonna call them heartless or anything like that. At a certain point, your pride, somebody's got to dig down and bring some pride to them.
Yes. You got to pull it from deep inside somewhere. Somebody's got to do it, and that's still
every Monday.
My major thought is the leadership is just not there for what you would expect it to be in an NFL team. And I'm talking players. I don't see the fire in the eyes of 5 or 6 guys like every other NFL team has. They'll go in that locker room and they'll yell and they'll scream and they'll holler and say, dig it out, guys. We got to do better. I don't see anybody on this team doing that. And that's what a concern to me, the bigger concern is.
Well, you know what? I think you may have a lot of what they call Class A personalities, a Class B or Class C personality. Right now, kicking and screaming is all. After you had your butt kicked, I don't really want to talk. I don't want to hear you about kicking and screaming because you do have to get. Well, at this point, I want to see you kicking and screaming when that referee drops his hand and you kick off, The kicking and screaming I want to see you doing is turning around and dominating the line of scrimmage. The kicking and screaming is I want to do. I want you to block and give your quarterback better than 1.8, 1.9 seconds to throw a ball. The kicking and screaming I want you to do. I want you to be able to quit making decent running backs looking like great running backs, and great running backs look like they ought to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not. And the day we are, I think there's no question. Unless something happens to Derrick Henry, we know he's already going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, and he's proven coming back off an injury. I mean, but today, we saw and the thing about it, you and I was we had a few folks in between us, and a couple of times, this first carry was like 2 yards, and then all of a sudden it started going like boom, boom.
Yep.
It's like. And we sort of looked at each other like, well, here it is. We were just trying to figure out, okay, when does the floodgate? We wondered when was the floodgate going to open up.
Yep.
And guess what? The floodgates open up. I mean, the Red Sea parted. The Brazos River would flow to the Mississippi and back and forth. I mean, and the Buffalo Bayou came up out his banks. No, hopefully not. We've seen enough folks that suffer from that. Elwin, final points, man, and I know you want to let you get on down the road and everything. Final points. You and Heather have a safe trip and everything. I know y'all still rocking and rolling from Earth, Wind, and Fire the other night there in Vegas. So, closing points as y'all get down the road.
Well, again, I think this is probably the lowest point, without a doubt, this team has been emotionally, physically, every other way this season. And I think they do have a golden opportunity Thursday night to come out and play inspired football and at least be competitive, which they really weren't at all today. I think they have that opportunity. I just hope that they can literally go into that locker room Thursday before kickoff and say, Carpe diem, seize the day.
Well, okay. Something's gonna get seized. Something it might be IRS agent or something coming in there to see somebody. I have no idea. I mean, and I know I'm being somewhat satirical at this point, but at this point you just want to see a team that I want to see a team that just actually going to go out there and compete.
Absolutely.
And really. They've shown a competitive nature. They've shown a competitive nature in Las Vegas last week for 3 quarters. I mean, they've got bits and they put enough out there to just sort of keep folks interested. But today, this is one from the moment they kicked off. And the thing about it, they were able to go get some takeaways. They had basically a rookie starting quarterback. He'd been. And they couldn't take advantage of it.
No.
And that's the most galling thing more than anything else. They didn't take advantage of opportunity. And, and like I say, everybody knew they were going to feed Derrick Henry. And every time I look up, Derrick Henry looked like he grew every time he got another yard. Looked like he grew another half an inch.
Yep.
And all I could see was just those red cleats he was wearing, stepping in the back of a Texan in them red cleats, stepping in on them blue jerseys and blue helmets. But anyway, guys, hey, appreciate it. Look to see you Thursday. Lord willing, y'all have a safe trip and everything else. Heather, take care of us crazies. You know how we are. We sort of need tutelage at times. But anyway, hey, be careful, guys, down the road, and we'll catch you later.
Will do, AD. Thanks a bunch. See you.
All right, man. All right, later.
All right.
All right, folks. At this point, the Texans are a walking zombie. I mean, they're a walking zombie movie. At this point, they make that commercial. What happened when you're in a horror movie when you're supposed to go a certain place? All the other things that you expect folks to do. They are that horror movie, and they were horrible today. I'm not gonna kid you not. I'm not gonna try to make this thing any worse, any better. They were bad today. So here in Harris County, the folks, hey, early voting should be starting all over the country. I encourage you to go exercise your right to vote. Those of us who live long enough, I saw my parents have to pay poll tax just to have a right to vote. There's no poll tax anymore. They got other things want to try to prevent you to vote it. But you know what? If you have the will and the desire and the gumption to do it, get out there and cast your right to vote, because that's the way you exercise your right and make your voice heard. If you hadn't got your COVID shot, flu shots, pneumonia shots, whatever, let's get your inoculations done, folks. And so, without further ado, as I get ready to get up, pull the lights down on the corner here, Thursday night, we're going to see what a 7-0 team coming in on what is starting to look like a very, too bad this game couldn't be Halloween couldn't be on that Thursday night. Boy, some of the props and everything they could do, but it's not. So we'll see Thursday night. Can the Texans, as a professional team, show some chutzpah and show themselves to be a professional team? And I'm not looking for moral victories. I'm looking for a victory. So we'll see. So without further ado, this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, signing out from the corner as your Texans went down today 17-10. And no, it was not that close. It was a butt kicking from the word say go. The Titans put their foot up the Texans rear end all the way from Tennessee today, and I think they still got their foot in their behind. But anyway, that's it. That's the way we see it today. That's the way I call it. And have for those of y'all that's gonna have little ones out, be careful tomorrow night during Halloween. The trick-or-treaters, be careful for all and everybody out there. Watch out for the little people, folks. Please watch out. They just out to have a good time. So hey, everybody, be blessed. Ciao, and I'm out.